Hello everybody and welcome to another MX Bikes video, and today guys, brand new OEM update guys. This is huge. I think this might be the best OEM update I've ever experienced in this game. I've had it for a year and a half and these bikes feel great. Okay, there's a lot of the weird stuff we've been having, a lot of the weird physics kind of gone, so it's good to see that. But before we get into it, I gotta obviously address my voice. It sounds like I got a little bit of a lisp, and that is because I got some swelling in my mouth. I got my wisdom teeth out a couple days ago. And this is going to be painful for me to talk, but when you got an update like this, and you got guys that work so hard on bikes, I got to make a video on it. I got to let you guys know what my thoughts are. We're going to do 250s only in this video. I know Doc already did a shootout on the 450, so it's kind of fitting. I'm not sure when I'll upload this or when the bikes will be out. They're going to be out the day that you're watching this video. They probably already are out. Maybe they're not. But yeah, man, just super excited. I haven't really tested these bikes much at all. So I'm really interested to see how they feel. Obviously the previews were already tested, so that's why I'm starting out here on the KTM. And I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts. I'm not a huge bike test guy or very knowledgeable on just bikes in general, but I'll just talk to you guys about what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what's improved. And yeah, hit that sub button as well. We're trying to hit 50K. Alright, we got to get it done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, new update. We're coming in hot here. I've already ridden these bikes a little bit, not a ton. I haven't ridden all of them, so I'm still really excited. But I definitely have a little bit of a feel for them. So just keep in mind when you guys play, it's going to feel different when you start, especially if you haven't ridden the preview bikes. It just feels different. I don't know why it feels. I don't know if it's like a center of gravity change that they made or what exactly it is. I'm not inside making the bikes. I'm not that smart. But they definitely feel different. I think turning, one of the main things you got to get used to, and that was the same with the update in September, the big update we had. Everyone was just kind of worried. They're like, why is the bike turning like this? Like, it's turning like a tank almost. And it's just because what we came from was so different that you got to get used to it. And I think the big reason that these bikes especially feel a little bit different, or maybe a little bit harder to turn, again, I'm just saying they feel like that. I don't know if they actually are. It's just like a feeling, but I think it's because they're trying to fix the slow physics that we've been having, and also the front end issues and stuff like that. When you make a change to do something like that, I feel like it might take away, you know, something else. Maybe they're going to be harder to turn, or maybe they feel different or feel heavier. I don't know. I don't make the bikes, but definitely feel different. There's definitely a difference. Okay, so just know that, and you got to give them a chance. All right, you got to put time into them. You gotta learn them. I think overall this is probably one of the best updates we've had for OEMs, at least since I've got the game, which has been a year and a half, since I think midway through beta 17, something like that. And this just feels good. It feels like the slow physics, from what I've tested, feel like they've been fixed for the most part. It's still Poboso physics, guys. We're still gonna get them. They're never gonna go away, no matter what you do. It's impossible. It's just the physics of the game. But for the most part, in the testing that I've done before recording this video, they feel good in that sense, especially the 250s, which is a good thing. I think it's going to be better for newer players hopping on that want to figure out how to play the game. Like, come on, we all remember our first time. You suck at the game. Like, you're just terrible. You don't know what you're doing. Things feel weird. I think these bikes are going to give that newer player a better chance, which is something the factory bikes have done a great job at. In my opinion, is, you know, you hop on, you don't even need a setup, you just get on, you play, and you have fun. I think these bikes allow for that a bit more. I think for us fast guys, they might be a bit easier. I feel that there's maybe a little bit more grip. Now, I'm running a 120 on the back here. Let's see, a little front tuck there. I mean, that was deserved. It's just kind of hard. I don't know. I think that the back tire, if you're going to run a 120, it's got a lot of freaking grip. I don't know if it's as much as the mediums, those medium tires we had, which have been eradicated, by the way. No more medium tires. They're kind of just working on the mid-soft. So you can take this tire on sand and asphalt and all that stuff. So that testing's been done, which I think is cool. Now, I don't really know how it's going to work on sand. We'll have to test that in a later video. But that's going to be interesting. You know, we don't got the sand tires anymore. We weren't running sand tires anyway. We were running the mediums because they had insane grip. So we'll see. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea, but anything is better than those medium tires we had. Those things had so much grip. It was absolutely insane. They did slow you down, but I think it's good that those are gone just for more testing. Now they do want to bring back the sand and the mediums. They just got to do more testing on that type of tire to make sure it's not broken. So these don't feel broken. I want to do a stop and then start just to see if we can get some wheel spin on the back here. We should, right? I mean, yeah, tons of spin there. So that's good. I mean, I think that they do feel pretty grippy in the corners. Now I need to test the 110 on the next bike. I think we'll get on the gas next. Same Austrian bike family, and see how that feels. But I think that the 110 might be faster. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I know that the 120 would be wider and, you know, more grippy, but I think the 110 might make us a bit quicker. We'll have to see, because the 120 feels good. I mean, it's got a lot of grip, which is obviously the choice I think a lot of people would make. But I'll see if the give and take is in play with the 110. I think the 110 was the back tire. Most people ran on the 250s. They weren't running a medium. We'll have to test that, but so far KTM feels great. I mean, this is the bike I've been riding, so I'm the most comfortable with it. And it feels, I think, pretty similar to the KTM we already had. I don't think any of the specifications were changed or anything like that. I mean, the bike itself feels fairly similar. Triple in, nice. Stock suspension is actually pretty good for Supercross. You don't really have to change anything. Motocross, definitely a different story, but yeah, KTM feels good. I think this is always a good bike choice. I'm going to show you the setup real quick. I make similar changes on all the bikes, so you can literally just look at this and just copy it. You just copy all the black stuff. The red stuff is what was default. But yeah, let's move on to the gas. All right, boys, gas time. And immediately, this bike feels a bit heavier. Definitely feels heavier. Now we're running the 110 back now, which I can already feel is a bit slipperier. However you say that. Oh wow. We're already down. Okay, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this 110 feels on the back. Now, this is just the latest test 18.3 bike that I have access to. Maybe they've made a bit more changes to the tires. I would guess not, because I'm making this video literally hours before I'm going to upload it. But maybe the tires you guys actually get are going to be different. We'll see. I guess not, though. But so far, it feels like turning's actually a bit easier on the 110. Oh god. Some front end issues, kinda. I'm just not used to how hard you can turn these things. Definitely easier turning, which would obviously make sense, skinnier tire. Front end is interesting on this bike. I think the suspension might need a bit of tweaking. But it's really good in the whoops. I mean, these aren't really, you know, whoops, but... this bike feels good. Something I'll say about the KTM I forgot to say was the stock gearing on that thing was not great for Supercross. So, the gearing I showed you guys I think is pretty good. Maybe you could change it a little bit more, but... I didn't have to make too many changes to this gearing. I think... the stock gearing's actually not too bad on this bike, at least for Supercross. It's a pretty tight track, but yeah, this bike feels really good. I don't know if it's the 110 or just the bike. I mean, it should be pretty similar to the KTM, but it definitely feels good. It feels like I'm kind of schmoovin' here, and definitely feels a little bit heavier. That's really the only main difference I feel with this bike, but again, feels super planted. Doesn't feel like I get any weird front tucks. Doesn't feel like anything weird's happening, which is always great when you're getting a first look at a bike. You just want to make sure everything's good. I think this bike is good, man. Another thing I noticed while I've tested, you know, some of the bikes is that they're more balanced. It feels like there's not going to be just one meta anymore, which is something that I believe the OEM team's been working on. Obviously, after watching the outdoor series and you know how that fiasco went, everyone was on the same bike. They want to get away from that and make other bikes viable. And from what I can feel, this bike feels pretty dang good. Feels like it might even be better outdoors, but Supercross, it feels good, and this 110 also feels good. I want to test, see if we can get some spin on it. Let me go to a flat corner and really give her a go. I could not get any wheel spin there, which is kind of weird. I don't know how you make tires in this game. I don't know anything about it, but this tire doesn't really spin. Now, it spins when you're standing upright, right? You guys can see. Like the back tire's spinning, but when I try to turn, it went there, but like I'm fully, you guys can see my sticks. I'm fully turning there, and I'm fully on the gas in second gear. Let's go to first gear. Oh, there you go, actually. I don't know how I just survived that, but I guess you get some wheel spin. I mean, it's not as much as I would like, and I said that when I was testing them. But I don't know, maybe they did it for a reason. I think tires, from what I've noticed in testing, actually make a huge difference, like a way bigger difference than you'd think. So if I were to critique anything so far, it'd be that these tires feel like they have a bit too much grip when you're turning, when you get the bike leaned over. I mean, straight line, they spin. Like, they spin when you're trying to get going again, right? Which is good. It's a realistic thing. But I do feel like in the corners, they don't really spin much. So, I don't know. I mean, I think there's many people that like that because it makes it a bit easier to corner, but there's also many people that are like, where's the realism and all that? And so I get both perspectives. I would like a little bit more slip. But I don't make tires. I don't know how to make them. Just my opinion. I also would have to say that these bikes, from what I've analyzed so far, kind of hard to scrub them. Okay, it's hard to scrub in Supercross. Motocross is different because obviously you have a lot of room to scrub, but when you're going through a rhythm section and you're trying to scrub through it, I'll show you guys this rhythm up here. It definitely is a bit harder. Now these jumps are pretty small, but I've already done testing on a bigger track. They don't really get over as much, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing, like it doesn't really affect your gameplay, but I think if you're someone that likes to scrub a bunch, you're definitely going to have to get used to these new bikes, and maybe you have to make a setup change to figure out how to do that. But yeah, let's move on to, let's go Husky. Alright boys, Husky time's just going to cap off the Austrian crew trio of bikes. And yeah, then we'll get into the other one, so I'll make this one pretty quick since it should feel fairly similar. I will say so far, bike is much lighter, which I like. I don't like the bike super light. Obviously, you want it to keep it realistic. But this weight feels really good. Feels quick. Still feels planted though. Still feels really good. I love the gearing on this. Only made one change to it. Just lowered the front sprocket or whatever it's called. The first sprocket you can mess with. Just to lower the gearing a little bit. And it feels great. I like this. I've always liked the Husky. I rode this bike for majority outdoors this year, and the gearing was always something I liked, and I also like the weight of it. So far, I think there's a lot more you can do with this bike than the gas. I personally would like this bike more. I know there's some people that probably like the gas a bit more. But so far, all the bikes feel good. I mean, they're basically stock. I just kind of did a couple changes that I showed you guys earlier. But overall, for this Supercross track, which is pretty easy, by the way, it's not super hard. As in it's smaller scaled, so the jumps aren't as big. But yeah, they're all good through the whoop, stock suspension. Again, scrubbing. Definitely a lot harder. Yeah. It's different, you know, again, it's one of those things you gotta learn, you gotta get used to. But never make a judgment on the first day or first session riding a bike. You gotta give it time. And by judgment, I mean, you can judge them, you just can't like put a clear, concise, permanent judgment on them. You gotta give them a little bit of time. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Bike feels good. I'd say this is my favorite between the KTM and Gas. So far will be my favorite bike. And yeah, let's move on to, let's go Yamaha. I'm kind of interested to see the Yamaha. Alright, Yamaha time, boys. Time to become Hayden Degan for the next 3-4 minutes. Hopefully. Oh, wow. Okay, so initially, the thing doesn't want to turn. Interesting. Definitely feels like it doesn't turn as good. Oh. Okay, I am not liking this. Already. Gotta give it some time now. Now this is one of those bikes that you can't change the gearing to aggressive. You just have to leave it on, I think 2022 is what it is. It just like shows dates, which is kind of odd. I feel like that could make the bike worse, right? Like you can choose aggressive gearing on all the Austrian bikes. And I think there's a couple other bikes you can as well, but this bike you can't. And I like aggressive mapping or gearing, whatever I said. It might be mapping, it might be stupid. Oh my goodness, yeah, the thing does not want to turn. Now, I don't know if it's a geometry thing. I didn't touch geometry at all. I mean, other than that, it doesn't feel as poppy as far as acceleration. Now, gearing, I only made one change. I probably could have changed it a little bit more, made it a bit shorter. Yeah, not a bike that I'm a huge fan of so far. It feels a bit, I don't know if it's heavier or just feels more like, feels like it wants to stand up more. That makes sense. It feels like it wants to stand up. They don't want to turn like the Husky wants to. I feel like I kind of felt this on the gas as well. But this is the most I've felt it. I mean, it really feels like you gotta work to get the thing to turn. You gotta slow down a bunch. It's not a bad bike though. I mean, it's still rideable, clearly, but just the initial thoughts and feelings. We're definitely not riding like Hayden Degan right now. Actually, we kind of are. We're kind of schmooving right now. What are we saying? Quad? Oosh. That's easy. Okay, we're getting the feels down. We're off the Austrians and we're feeling nice and sweaty. Where's Yamaha made again? Japan or something? I have no idea. Get schmooving? Oosh. Oh, I'm dead. I'm so dead. Oh, 180. Oh my god. Alright, I mean, listen. It's not a bad bike. Alright, I got her on the track fine. I do think it's a bit harder to turn. Again, it feels like the bike's, like, not fighting to stand up, but it just really wants to. And so I think that might hinder turning a little bit. I think you can fix these things with setup and stuff. I suck at making setup, so I don't know what I'm doing, man. Alright, I just learned with this bike, wow, this thing's loud. Hope you guys can still hear me here, but I just learned that each bike actually has different stock tires that come with it, or some of them do. This one came with a 100 on the back, so I had to change that to a 110. Almost like forgot or didn't even see it. That'd have been funny if I was just on a 100 sliding around. But this thing so far, the Honda, changed the gearing a bit on it, and it feels a lot better than it usually does. This thing has such long gearing. I'm pretty sure in first gear it was saying like 69 kilometers an hour. That is way too fast for Supercross. But changed the gearing a little bit, made it a bit shorter. And I've had to do that for every bike so far, which would make sense. I mean, these bikes aren't just made for Supercross, but still with no suspension changes, they all feel pretty dang good. Man, I hate the sound of this bike. I absolutely hate it with a passion. Need to get a sound mod. So loud. Which is the opposite of what a Honda is in real life. Honda's like the quietest bike. From what when I went to Washougal, I mean, I always thought the Honda was the quietest. At least the 450 is. This thing is loud, bruh. It's screaming. The bike feels good, though. I mean, I haven't ridden the Honda much at all since early this year, and it feels good, bruh. Feels nice. Feels like the Honda. Great suspension. Turns well. I think we're finally gonna get bikes that are even, bro. Like, we're gonna see some colors. Now, obviously, there's gonna be the fast guy friend groups that all run the same bike because they don't know what fun is, but the people that are cultured, they're gonna be on a different color, alright? That means I will 100% be on a different color. I'm not gonna follow a meta, alright? I need to not do that. And I didn't do that during outdoors for most of the year. I was on the Husky. I was like the only guy to qual on a Husky multiple rounds. Was I fast? Not really. So, you know, you could definitely debate me on that, but it was fun, alright? I was having fun. Yeah, this bike is good. It barks. Kind of hard to turn. I mean, I messed up there. But that's kind of just been every bike so far. Not a big deal, though. Feels good. I mean, I'm trying to, like, have things to talk about. I mean, the bikes all feel pretty good so far. I'd say the Yamaha was a bit iffy at first, but kind of grew on me after a couple laps. And yeah, I don't know. I like the Honda. I think this bike is nice. I think we're gonna see people on it. We saw no one on it after the September update. So hopefully we see some red on the gate. I don't know. I think we will. It feels good. Alright guys, we gotta test every bike. You know, the TM came up on the list. I almost vomited, but you know. TM. Alright, we gotta test it. Okay. Maybe it'll grow on me. Who knows? One of the most rigid bikes I've ever ridden in my entire life. I don't think it's gonna be very good in the whoopies, but we'll see. Yeah, it's the only one to not feel great in the whoop so far. Okay, but let me tell you something though. Guys, let him cook a little bit. Why is it feeling really good in the corners? Whoa. Whoa, it's feeling good in the corners. Yo, who makes TM skins, bro? Yo, wait, whoa, we gotta hold up, bro. Wait, who cooked on this one, bro? Yeah, that's the first time I cleared that triple. Wait, this thing's barking, kinda. Wait, this thing's barking. Oh god, I'm dead. Alright. This thing barks, okay, and you might think I'm capping. But I didn't make a single gearing change, alright? The gearing stock was already at a good spot. And I'm feeling that, and how it just gives power right when you need it. It just feels nice. Now, I don't know what it is about the camera on this thing. I don't think I made any camera changes. Any Shift-C changes. That might be why, actually. Maybe I shouldn't make Shift-C changes. This thing just feels good. Suspension feels good. It's so good in the corners. It feels like you're never going to lose grip. Boys? As much as I hate to say it, the TM... Was this thing made? Italy or something? I have no idea. The TM barks. The TM 250 is actually good. Yeah. What the? That was weird. Yeah, this thing's good. I don't want to stop riding it. Why am I having so much fun? I like the sound of it too. It actually sounds good. Dude, it's so good in the corners. Got some E-road going too. It'll be interesting to see how that affects things. Damn, this thing feels good. What the? Yo. Boys, we're gonna have to start getting on the TM a little bit. This thing barks. Wait, this is broken. Hey, yo. Who cooked on this? Oh, nah, this thing is crazy. Yo. I can quad that probably. Alright, let me get off this thing. I don't have anything to say. Like, it feels light. The gearing feels great. Very good. The suspension's interesting. Okay, that isn't the announcement that I have to make. It feels interesting. I don't think it'd be very successful in any whoop section, as you can see. But other than that, thing feels amazing. And you might see some TMs out there, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, Fantic time. This was the 450 that I was maining before this update. Never really ridden the 250, so I'm gonna give her a bit of a try here. Apparently it's supposed to feel like the Yamaha. I can see that. Definitely harder to turn. Yamaha kind of felt like that as well. But that TM felt so good that I'm gonna have to get used to normal bikes now. Feels light though. Yamaha did not feel very light. It feels different in that way. I can kind of get barking a little bit. Gearing is interesting. Oh my god. Suspension feels pretty rigid, doesn't feel very good. But Supercross is not bad. I like this bike a lot. I've liked like all of them. None of them are bad, you know? This isn't a super hard track, so I can't really judge them too hard. They all turn good. Some of them are a bit harder to turn, but yeah, I think it's just, you know, you make a little geometry change or something, it'll be fine. But they're all catching ruts good. No weird front tucks in E-Road yet, which is very good as well. Nothing weird's going on. That's just a positive, dude, because most, you know, not most, but some updates we've had with bikes, there's always kind of something that's a little bit wonky. Y'all get hyped, and so we all love them for a day, and then we kind of realize, wait, I don't really like this. I don't think we're going to feel that with these bikes. That's why I think it's probably one of the best updates we've gotten to the OEMs since they've released. Or since I've had the game. Little front tuck there. Probably my fault though. I don't know. I don't think this bike is great. I think the gearing holds it back a little bit. I don't like it that much. It just feels kind of weird. But other than that, I think any bike so far with a setup change would be just fine. If you're a decent to good rider, if you're the best in the game, well, I don't know. I can't relate to that, but I've been decent, I've been bad, I've been good, so I don't think any of these bikes are bad. I think you can keep up on all of them and be just fine, so we got 2 more bikes left, I think. Yeah, I think we got Cowie and Suzuki. Suzuki I'm really interested to try, because Doc liked that 450, so we'll see if the 250's barking or not. Alright, Green Bean Hour is finally here. This bike's always been good. The Kawasaki, I don't think it's ever been a bad bike. Yeah, how's she feeling? I like what I'm feeling. Okay, we're actually on a barking lap. I'm gonna start tryharding now. Really push these bikes. I had to make a lot of gearing changes. Stock gearing on this thing is terrible for Supercross. Like, it's actually horrible. In my opinion. Someone could tell me it's fine, and I'll just be like, alright, whatever. In my opinion. Holy. We're actually gonna beat our TM time here, I think. We will. Yeah, this bike barks. It barks. I'm dead. It honestly, this is the bike that feels the least different, in my opinion. With all the changes they've made to the bikes, with center of gravity and whatnot, tires, this bike, for whatever reason, doesn't feel much different than before the update. Now, I don't know if that means it's good or bad. I mean, it definitely feels good. I'm not having any problems with it. Suspension feels good, stock. Kind of bouncy. I feel like this bike's always been... It's always been bouncy, for whatever reason. I don't know why the suspension does that, but... It's not a great thing, because you do want to stay low in Supercross. I mean, everything just feels good. We're just going to go around this section, because we do suck at the game. Oh my god. I can't wait to try motocross, see how these things feel. Keep casing that. Yeah, this bike feels good. Bro, they all feel good. Like, at least on this track, I'm really not having much of a difference in Doc. When he did his 450 shootout, I think 2 days ago, or a day ago when you guys were watching this, he really, I mean, he did laps on all the 450s, and it was like, I mean, literally half a second difference for most of them. So that is a good thing. The fact that the bikes are close and it's not a big deal what bike you choose. It was not like that a year ago when that Beta 18 update came out. There was bikes that were good, there were bikes that were no. And so far, we haven't tried the Suzuki yet. Every bike feels good. All right, there is no major discrepancy. Now, this isn't a hard, like super hard track or anything like that, but I mean, it's not easy. You couldn't put a beginner on this Supercross track. They wouldn't be able to do anything. And I'm kind of moving around. It isn't a track that I've ridden that much either. And with the E-Road and everything, the bikes feel good. Don't feel like they're struggling too much at all. They grip right in. No weird front tuck issues. No weird collision issues. That's what you want to see, boys. A lot of people are hyped for this update, right? It's coming into the season. Like, if you know, we want to get people on this game, it's now. And as a YouTuber, you want people to play the frickin' game because you want people to watch your videos. And I don't know, I think a lot of people will come to this game and come back, or maybe you're a newer player. I think you're gonna like this update a lot. It's good for the people coming in from Christmas that get the game and they're like, what do I do? These bikes are good to start on. I don't think they're gonna be super hard for people personally. I think they're gonna be pretty easy, make things a bit easier, no weird Poboso stuff. And that's what we all just asked for at the end of the day. I mean, I probably have 500 clips of me just crapping on the OEMs in my YouTube career. So hopefully that doesn't happen as much. I mean, a lot of them are just me being mad because I'm just not good at the game. But some of them, I think there's some validity behind some of my complaints. I don't really have any right now. Now, obviously, as time goes on, there's going to be stuff that's not good about these bikes, all right? I might be on the OEM team, but we got to be realistic here. You can always improve. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. And as good as these bikes feel right now, over time, as we, you know, get on different tracks and I test them more, there's going to be stuff to gripe about, but so far, I got no complaints. Absolutely none. So we're going to go try the Suzuki, see how that feels. And then I think I might do a rough list of kind of the order of bikes and how I rank them. It's going to be a hard list. You know why? Because they're freaking close, and there's not a big difference. And I don't know. I like this. I think this is good. I just don't have much to say about this bike. It just feels good, dude. Doesn't feel much different than the one that we already had, and it's just riding around and railing around and feeling nice. So yeah, I'll stop yapping and we'll get to the Suzuki. Alright, Suzuki time, boys. We're gonna see how she's feeling. In the E-Road as well. We gotta take that into account. There's definitely a lot more E-Road on the track. You know, it definitely affects the opinion a little bit. And we'll use this Cowie time as a bit of a meter. It's heavy, right? We know this about Suzuki. The thing's a bit of a tank. Is it viable? I think it 100% is so far. Only half a lap in. Can I run my fastest lap on this? Okay, I'm actually gonna sweat, see if I can run my fast lap. I think we're about to, actually. Oh no. No, we're good. I don't know how fast lap this track is, but we just ran our fastest on a Suzuki, so. What's that, 57.8? Not too bad. I don't know though. I don't know if I like this bike or not. It's definitely good for one lap, like, you know, all bikes I think are viable for just running one fast lap, but do I overall like this bike? I don't know. I don't know if I really like the feel of it. It feels super heavy. Definitely the heaviest one so far. What I will say is good about it is it has very good suspension. The gearing I had to change. It was like the gearing was super long stock. But I did change that. I'm dead. No, I'm not. I don't understand how I'm still up. Ugh. I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion. I think all these bikes feel pretty similar, to be honest. I don't think there's any super bad ones. I don't know what I'm gonna rank these bikes. I'm like trying to think. I literally have no idea. I'm gonna have to ponder over that, but so far Suzuki feels good, suspension feels good, definitely feels a bit heavy, but otherwise it does well. Does decent in the whoops. You can still turn it, it's definitely a bit harder to turn, but I don't know. It's a Suzuki, dude. I mean, the thing feels pretty similar to what we've had. The Suzuki 250 never gets love. The 450 sometimes does, but the 250 I know literally never does. And I think that'll probably happen again with this one. Feels kind of slow. Doesn't feel very twitchy, fast twitch. For the super fast guys, I don't think it's going to be a very good bike. I think you could still ride it, but just from my opinion, I think the weight holds it back a little bit from doing some of those split-second decision things. Oh wow, he slid out. That's a first. Yeah, now I need to rank the bikes, so let's do that. All right, so we got our list of bikes right here. I'm gonna quickly rank them. This could be a terrible ranking system, okay? They all felt very similar. But this is my first look opinion here from what I felt. This is what, okay, this is hard. This is actually really hard. Okay, we're going. First place, I'm gonna go Husqvarna. Okay, that bike felt really good. First time, I haven't ridden the Husky in a long time as well. Felt really good. That's number one for me. 2, TM. TM felt really good. You guys heard when I said, you probably thought I was going to say that was number 1. The bike felt good. I don't know why. It could just be the track. It felt good with power. It has a lot of power. Suspension was not great. That was the biggest downfall of it, and that's why I think other tracks won't succeed as much or just be as consistent. But it felt really good. I loved it in the corners. A lot of power. So we got TM, and then third, I'm gonna go KTM for third. KTM still felt solid. Now it felt familiar because I've been riding it, but it felt very solid. So we'll go KTM 3. 4, I think I'm gonna go Kawasaki 4. Kawasaki felt great as well. All those bikes so far are great bikes. So after that, oof. What do we do after that? I think I'm gonna go Honda. The Honda surprisingly didn't feel that bad. I changed the gearing. The stock gearing on that thing looked terrible. For Supercross and Motocross, probably. I mean, especially for Supercross, it was way too long. So I changed that. It feels way better. And then, what are we on? 6? And Gas 6. That bike, it just felt the worst out of the Austrian bikes. Just felt heavy. Didn't turn as well. So not a huge fan of that. And then I think we go Fantic. What are we at? 7? 6 or 7. Whatever's left. What do we have left? Suzuki, Yamaha. No. Just no. In my opinion, they were the 2 heaviest. And they just didn't turn as good. Not really a fan. The Yamaha wasn't terrible. Or the Suzuki. None of them were bad. I don't think there was a single bike that I got on was like, this bike is terrible. Those are my bottom 2, though. I don't think we're going to see people on either of them. I could be completely wrong again. Just the first opinion thing. But, yeah, that's my ranking system. I think we should see some Huskies out there. I think we need to see... We need to see some TMs, bro. Someone's got to get on it after this video. The TM is not bad for Supercross. Motocross, just stop. I think it's probably terrible. So the suspension, in my opinion, that thing was so rigid. That thing's not taking up any bump. You're going over the bars. But other than that, I mean, all the bikes felt good. They all felt balanced. There's a lot more grip now, it feels like. I mean, I was running 110 for most of that video, and I didn't slide out much. It was kind of hard to get wheel spin, but hey, it is what it is. I love these bikes. I think it's a great update. It's a good step forward. No weird front tucks, no weird slope physics. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that something like button on the next video.